see these giants and young people come together. I hope we can capture this spirit and take it back to our communities to show that young and old alike have something to teach each other. Amen. This time, we are blessed to have greetings from some of the most dynamic leaders that this nation has produced. And there's one young man who is here with us every year and gives us an inspirational message, and he leaves something behind in terms of donations, my mind. And he trusted us with his most precious gift, his daughter. You can say amen to that. His wife, Deborah Haynes, recruits, one of our best recruiters for Howard University. Where is she? I'm going to ask her to stand. Where is she? One who needs no introduction, the Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Haynes III.
Thank you so much. Let me express my appreciation to Dean Richardson for just being who he is. He stands tall in the legacy of Dr. Howard Thurman, and our world is a better place, and our youth are in good hands because of the blessed gifted ministry of Dean Richardson. And so we thank God for who he is and for what he means to each and every one of us. I also want to express my appreciation to the Mecca, Howard University. How appropriate that during this season where we commemorate the 50th anniversary, the Great March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, that we have the sense to assemble here at Mecca to make a pilgrimage, as it were, here to Mecca in order to, once again, reconnect with our great God and revive our sense of liberation and empowerment, especially on behalf of the least of these. And so thank you, Howard University, for being our Mecca. Thank you, Howard University, for opening your doors for us to come and share with you during these days. Now, to be honest, I am standing here in fear and trembling because this is a star-studded audience I am speaking before, and I'm wondering why I am up here. And then I am so honored to see again so many students. And so let me just briefly stick to my remarks as it relates to the role of the Black church. And again, I see the president of Howard University. Thank you so much for your leadership. And so the Black church, in a real sense, in the darkness of oppression, dared to give a prophetic vision of protest, of liberation, and we refuse to surrender to slavery. That's the role of the Black church, to always give a light, a vision of what can be in the midst of what is. I'll give it to you like this, since I'm at Howard. The Black church ought to always give us an eschatological hope so we can handle our existential hell. I'm trying not to preach, but I'm simply trying to say, the role of the Black church has offered us that vision of possibilities. And so, as we get caught up in the prophetic poetry of one drum major for justice who 50 years ago declared, I have a dream. Don't forget, he was within the prophetic tradition of a church that dared to dream against a nightmare of dehumanizing oppression. But not only that, the Black church does that when we have persons in the pulpit, male and female. Say it, Freddie Haynes. We have persons in the pulpit who recognize our responsibility is not just to feed the sheep. We've got to fight the wolves. I just said something. If we're not careful, we will limit our ministry to what just goes on Sunday when we feed the sheep Sunday. We've got to fight the wolves the rest of the week. And so, my brothers and sisters, with that being the case, I close with this, because if we are to be true to the role of the black church, we must now use that legacy to convert a senseless murder into a salvific movement.
In speaking on the attacks of Jim Crow on his very personhood and the civil rights movement, Samuel DeWitt Proctor said, "In the long run and in the end, nothing penetrated my shield of faith." And it is the shield of faith which has brought us all to this sacred moment and to this sacred space. 50 years after the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. And to Daniel, our young violins, we say, we give ourselves away. We give ourselves away so we can continue the journey. It was jobs and freedom then, it is jobs and justice now. The Proctor Conference believes that the best way to honor the past is to know it, to critique it, to grow from it, and to pass it on to the next generation in order to continue the way forward. The Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference is pleased to host this weekend over 50 mostly HBCU students representing 12 institutions for a 4-day teach-in during this commemorative weekend. They began with a tour of the Civil Rights exhibit at the Smithsonian. It was followed by a special dinner of reflection with veteran activists. They will continue this experience to include all day today on Howard's campus, more study and engagement with veteran activists. They will participate in a jobs rally at Union Station tomorrow, and on Tuesday morning they will participate in a mock hearing on the Hill, where they will present their agenda. Proctor Conference is also especially delighted to sponsor the American Legacy Mobile Museum exhibit truck, which you see outside on the campus, in order to extend this educable moment to both the community and the other students of this community. So on this occasion, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference, these students and their faculty facilitators, the Proctor Conference, in collaboration with Epic and Legacy is Forever, has created a Living Legacy Civil Rights commemorative coin. It is a bit larger than a silver dollar. One side is a replica of the official button of the 1963 March on Washington, noting the jobs and freedom theme with black and white hands shaking. The other side, in the foreground of the U.S. Capitol and the Washington Monument, we have a silhouette of marchers moving forward, continuing the journey, and honoring the unsung foot soldiers. We thank SCLC, Howard University, the Dean of Chapel, Dr. Richardson and Dr. McGee especially, for this opportunity to honor some of our veteran activists and the passing of the torch with these young people. But on behalf of all of those gathered today, not just the Proctor Conference, but all of you, we take this moment to present our veteran activists with a pure silver with gold overlay, limited edition of the Living Legacy commemorative coin. Our students will in turn receive a replica of that in bronze after this service. Last night, as we gathered, one student took the mic and he taught us all the difference between being thankful and being appreciative. He said, thankfulness is what you feel when you have something of value. Appreciation is what you do with it when you know it has value. And so that was a lesson for all of us. It embodies our marching orders. So may all who gather in this place leave ever more empowered by the shield of faith to which Samuel DeWitt Proctor held on to, and the acts of appreciation which we will covenant to do together when we leave this place and all of the events of the 50th anniversary commemorative March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Thank you. And now I would ask my chair, Dr. Henry, as we call up some people we want to especially acknowledge with these special gifts. None other than William Bill Lucy in the house. A consummate the labor leader of the 20th and 21st. Marion Wright Ellerman. She needs no introduction. Reverend Samuel Billy Kiles is with us. Dr. King was on his way to his house. He had come to pick him up moments before the assassination.
This time we have a very special guest. I'm going to ask Mr. Daniel Davis, a young man who's coming at this time. He's a violinist. I'm going to ask that he come here this time to bless us with a selection.